everybody, so I'm headed out today to a place I've never been, just kind of a chunk of wood. Supposedly there's some hiking trails out there. Apparently there's some like 2 dispersed camping sites. We'll potentially look for those, maybe camp there or just anywhere that's flat really. There is a snowstorm coming in a couple hours here, so I'm a little behind schedule today, so I'm gonna try and get out there. It's about an hour away, so I gotta get going on the road here, and then we will start hiking around and see what we can find and see a place to set up camp. Back's feeling better. I'm excited to get out there and hopefully beat the snow here. I don't know, it's a little windy today, not too bad. I don't know how bad the snow is going to be in terms of like, is it going to be a snowstorm? All I know is it's going to snow, which is kind of cool. So let's get on the road, get over there, get hiking. Okay everybody, I'm at the forestry area. Pretty nice out. The snow is supposed to not get here for a couple more hours, not till a little bit later it looks like. So we'll have plenty of time to hike around here, take a look. There's actually a couple other winter campers out here, which is kind of cool, posted up down here. But otherwise it's pretty quiet, so hopefully I can find somewhere up on these bluffs somewhere to stake out and camp. So let's get to it. Got my big pack with me as well today, so kind of with dealing with some back issues lately, one thing I really want to do, this is already a very heavy pack itself, one thing I was really focusing on this trip is lightening the load, so I tried to bring pretty much everything, only the things that I need for this trip. I did pre-pack water, so I've got 2 bottles there, 2 Nalgene bottles of water, which really makes up for a lot of the weight. Otherwise it's not too bad. Considering I got my sleeping bag tent and I even have a nice wool blanket roll there. So gonna get the pack on, gonna stay unzipped. I got my pit zips open because I don't want to get too warm as I'm going up here and walking around. All right, let's get to it. Just taking a second, I took my hat off, let some cool air come through top of my head here. So this is kind of an in spot. It's kind of like a crossing. So behind me there, trail goes it's a 3-way. So the trail I'm gonna follow this way goes up further up onto the bluff, onto kind of the central bluff. And that's the spot I'm looking for. There's supposedly a campsite up there. I'm gonna go check that one out. There's another one that's out that way. But the thing about that one is it's kind of closer to where those guys were camping down at the base of the bluff. So, and they were shooting out 22s and stuff. So I'm gonna head up to the top. It's gonna be a little more remote up there, hopefully too. So yeah, beautiful day. This is just a really pretty spot here with all the pines coming up on top of or up through this to get to the bluff. So keep on trekking. Okay, I'm up on the bluff a little more now. It's flattened out finally, which is really nice. So you can see we're on a flat way here. So I don't know if I'm at the top. I mean, I assume it seems like we're up pretty high now. I can see pretty good view. So I think it's not too far from where I'm at, where supposedly this campsite's located. It's really flat in some of these areas, which is kind of nice, even if I had to dig out somewhere else to get the tent up at. But keep walking here and see what we can find. Not doing too bad so far. Everything's feeling great. It's beautiful out. It's too warm. One of those days where it's too warm right now, but I'll probably eat my words later at nighttime. But okay, so that's just an elevation little map there with the trailway on it, but going this way, and that's where the campsite is, I think. So I have a pretty good idea where I'm headed to. Almost there. All right, I made it to the kind of overlook of the bluff here, which is cool. This is where the campsite is. It is not what I thought it was. It is literally like a shack. There is a shack here, and that's kind of apparently the camp spot. There's a fire pit here and a picnic table, pretty big picnic bench. And maybe I'll utilize some of this stuff, but just take a look. So you can see it's kind of maybe the local kids hangout or something. They've got their TP and we got their grilling equipment. So I'm not quite sure this is exactly where I want to set my tent up at, just in case, you know, someone does. It's a nice day, someone wants to come out here. But that being said, there are some other flat areas real close, actually, right out there, maybe over there. I think I might check that spot out and see if it's flat enough and put the tent over in that corner, and then I could come back over here and use the fire pit for a fire or whatnot, or maybe I'll just make one closer to where I decide. There's a nice little spot up in the prairie, kind of right before you come into this area as well, so maybe I'll check that out. Let me take a look here, see what I'm going to settle on. Okay, so here's the trail right here that comes around, goes back out that way. So like right here and over there, some really nice flat areas, wide open. So I'm contemplating that, but I actually found, so just that spot I was pointing at before right here, there actually is a little fire ring there. I almost wonder if this is the actual camp spot. I don't know if that was something different they built later, but it's pretty flat right here. So I think this is where I'm gonna settle on. I kind of want to be a little bit more away from the main trail here, so being down here would be a little more off the path. I think let's do that. That way you got a little bit of view too, and the trees look pretty good around. I'll double check them, make sure everything looks pretty healthy though. Good oaks. So all right, I am going to get things unpacked a little bit here. I want to get my tent up first, and then I want to, I think, go get some firewood. So harvest a little firewood and for a fire, and I'll probably use this fire ring here. Let me show you. So it's decently flat right here, and kind of the nice thing about snow is I'll maybe move some around and make it work. Hopefully it's flat enough. Looks okay. Drops down the hill pretty quick. But yeah, this is just got a really nice view here. I think I want to be right here. Yep. All right. think this spot will work. I just wanted to check and make sure that there wasn't a bunch of anything poking out too much. I'll double check it here again, and then I'll kind of just get it flat. It'll be plenty flat, I think, for tonight. So. Okay, I also wanted to go over and show you guys how I had the pack set up. Again, I really tried to focus on having this as light as I could. So here I got a sleeping pad. I did bring the axe with, just in case I wanted it to mess around and getting some wood and splitting wood instead of using the knife. Now, this is a significant amount of weight added on, so I had to make a decision. And to be honest, just kind of looks cool when it's on there as well. In here I got some cordage and poncho tarp. And so let me just break into the pack here so you can kind of see how I've got it set up. This is a frameless pack. So let me show you how I've worked this out. I'll bring this top out. So hopefully you can see all this. So open this up. I got my tent right on top. Underneath I brought a pair, I don't know why I brought these gloves. It's so warm today. I've got my food. These are a bunch of Alpine Air foods that I'm gonna try out today on this trip. I actually brought 2 dinner meals, 1 breakfast and a dessert. I don't know if I'll get into both dinner meals. I had originally planned to get here a little earlier, so maybe just get into the one. But what I wanted to show you before I tear all this out is I've got my thermarest here, and I've talked about this in other videos, as a frame for this pack. So I kind of wrap it around and then stuff everything inside. So even though this is a very big pack, most of the stuff in here is pretty light. Tent stakes, which I will use. So then you can maybe see in here, I've got my 2 things of water. I got gas, fuel canister in there. Got my Stanley cook pot. My sleeping bag is all the way at the bottom. And then I've got kind of some miscellaneous stuff for fire and other toiletries. Now I brought 2 pillows this time. I'm gonna test this one out. This is actually an old airline pillow from, God, probably a decade ago. I found it when I was cleaning out my basement. And it was small enough where I was like, let me see if I can fit this in the pack. But I also have my blow up pillow as well. So, okay, and before you can all see, I've got my saw here. And what I like to do, I've got the saw here and I've actually got the tent poles here. Reason being is then it kind of gives more frame to this and really gives some rigidity to my back. It works really well that way, sandwiched in between those two. So let me get everything, well, I'm not going to unpack everything just yet. I am going to work in getting the tent up, number 1, number 2, then number 2, maybe some coffee, and then 3, some firewood. We'll see. All right. Oh, and of course I should mention, obviously we've got the wool bedroll, so we'll brush the snow off of that and get it in the tent once the tent's up. So the winds break the breeze pretty good, which is nice. And the breeze is actually kind of nice because of pretty warm and actually wasn't too bad. These pit zips work so well in terms of getting the heat, airflow and heat. So not too bad, but I was gonna take the jacket off. I want to show you this awesome shirt I got from Duluth Trading Company. It's a magnet, so just like that, and I'm cooling off and airing out. So same here, it's got magnets, which incidentally came off, and just put the shirt back on. You just gotta kind of find a magnet there. Boom. One of the best shirts I've ever owned, I think, so it's such a cool shirt. So anyway, let's get building this tent here. So when checking out the spot, trying to see how flat I could get this for the tent, I was kind of moving some snow around, just kind of messing around. I was trying to find, what direction would be best. And then I kind of had noticed a little bit of rockage when I had just been moving the snow around. So when I was kicking around, I found some kind of some bigger rocks, and I'll have to uncover and see yet if they're just there from a fire pit or maybe another makeshift fire pit. They're pretty big, so I'm glad I found those. So it was definitely worth checking. I continued to really try and see the best spot for the tent, and it was just so hard to visualize, so I finally just took the tent out. And really once I was able to kind of get the tent, the poles up and and get it up just into shape, I was able to see exactly where I wanted it at, or at least where it seems to it'll fit pretty well in terms of sleeping and position and everything. So after that, everything went pretty well. I did a couple guy lines. I'm not really that familiar with this tent. This is a new tent to me, so this will be actually my first time using it. All right, as you can see, the tent is set up. So here's the vestibule here. Let me give you a look around. Let me give you a little tour. I do have my pack there, my thermarest here. I'm just kind of sitting on this for now. I will move that into the tent, and that will be what I'll do is I'll lay my thermarest down. I'm gonna blow up my sleeping glow blow up pad, and I'll lay that on top of the thermarest. The thermarest will really help keep that from moving around. And then from there, I'm gonna take the wool blanket and I'm gonna lay that on the pad, and then of course I got my sleeping bag, and then I'll just fold the wool blanket over me, and I think I'll be more than warm tonight, hopefully. If not, I always keep a couple backup hand warmers and things like that, stick-on ones. So if I were ever to get too cold, I could add those. You know, it's always about preparing for what you're going to expect. I'm not expecting a lot of cold tonight, and based on my experiences before, this will be more than enough. I think the sleeping bag will be more than enough. I really wanted to bring this wool throw out, and so it's a little heavy, but it's worth the wait. I think it'll be nice. So I am going to get a few things set up. Let me just kind of show you around here actually, so you can see. I want to give you an idea. Pop in here. So not too bad. Quite a bit of space I'm excited to work in. Let's see if you can see. So there's like me. I'm not quite sitting up or anything, but I think with that big top dome I'll be able to sit up just fine. And I really love this little window here. So I'm actually kind of excited for getting in the tent later, just listening to the sound of the wind. And snow should be coming eventually here, but I gotta get if I want to have a bit of a fire and warm up a little bit, I'm gonna have to get working and looking for firewood now. So let me just get some of my stuff in the tent here, and then once it's set up, I'll bring you guys back, and once I hopefully find some firewood here. So. They ain't coming down. That'll work. So I need to get this fire going. I've got some wood together. I kind of got as much as I could here while the sun went down. I could go find some more in a little bit if I need to. But so get this stuff pyro putty winter, if you can see that. So it looks like that's kind of blue. You can see it's kind of fibrous. So essentially, and I'll bring this a little better, but put it on the end of a stick here. And I've, in the interest of time here and getting this fire lit, but you kind of just, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the fibers to kind of come out from it a little bit while also kind of having it stuck to the stick. And then I'm going to just light it with the match, or I mean a lighter here. Well, the stuff does have a little bit of residue. It says it doesn't. It does have just a tiny bit. Why wouldn't it? But yeah, nothing too major. Just I'm going to wash my hands real good because it is a California Prop 65 stuff or whatever. Probably nothing good for you. But let's just give this a go here. Oh, let's try it again. Oh. So there we go. Look at that. Just gonna kind of put that in the middle of my bunch here. I put my headlamp on here as well. So yeah, these gloves are soaked. Put them right here. First, I'm going to get some food going, just because I don't want to. I don't want to push my luck with if it starts to snow quite a bit here, and I might end up just getting in the tent anyway. So, that's popping. All right. So, what I am going to eat tonight is, where is it? There's some Himalayan lentils and rice, but I'm going to eat this. Where is it? Right here. So, I've got pepper beef with rice. All right, for this we need 500 milliliters. That's why I brought so much water. I brought 2 of these because I knew I was doing a lot of water intensive cooking. And again, I didn't really want to pack snow and boil it. I will if I have to, but let's do our best here. It's quite a bit of water, but all right. All right, we're boiling. You can see exactly what that looks like inside there. I don't think there's a fill line. I'm just gonna put it all in. Actually, I'll just reserve a little bit there and let's get it closed up quick. Careful here. This rock's a little cold. Bag here. And this will be ready for coffee. Careful here, a little close to that fire. Oh, look how beautiful that is. There's something odd about this instant Folgers that some people say it's real bitter, but it's got such a distinct flavor that I really do love it. That's pretty hot. I think I'll wait a minute. Everything cools down real quick when it's wintertime. Gotta get this food going a little bit, gonna eat, and then I'll probably retire the fire pretty early. I'll probably get into the tent because I have the vestibule there, so if I want to cook anything, I can cook it right inside there. There's some wind, it's not really terribly windy, and I'm getting a lot of windbreak from where I'm at, so it's really not windy here per se. I can hear it, and I will have to check the radar to see where that snow is or when it's coming, because supposedly there was a snowstorm coming. So it's really quiet out here, really peaceful. I'm excited to get in that tent for sure. I will eat here in a second. In fact, let me take a sip of coffee. Ooh, that's hot still. All right, how are my gloves doing? Pretty good there. Give this alpine meal a go here. Pepper beef with rice. Definitely more than enough water, which it's always hard to get these things absolutely right. So it's a little more like soup at this point. Not that I'm complaining. Looks like there's a lot of herbs and seasonings in here, which kind of is nice. Probably can't see from there, but just a little pepper and a little beef, a little beef and a little rice there. So I'll let this cool down so I don't burn myself here. Dig in. The beef is about what I expect in terms of consistency for freeze-dried meal. Could go maybe a little more ways to go as far as rehydrating, but the flavor is really good. It is very peppery. The rice is just rice. I am going to eat all 620 calories. This will probably fill my belly up real good. Enjoy the fire here a little bit, and then I'll catch you back up once I've kind of ready to get into the tent here. Okay, starting to snow, so I am gonna crawl in. I warmed up by the fire and hung out by the fire for maybe 2 hours there, so I'm gonna crawl in here and then we'll get caught up. Oh God, I am gonna do this the best I can. What I'm gonna do is so my jacket's not too wet, which is good. Just try and put it in the corner here, the snow. And then I got my bag here as well. Trying to make room so I have room in this. Actually, well, let me just first get things set. So I haven't quite got my sleeping bag out yet. Gonna get a few things organized here. Let me pull that out. Makes the bag pretty empty. And then actually, yeah, let me just work on getting into here without wet boots. My pants aren't too bad, so I will just roll them up for now. Okay. There's one. There's the other. Aha. Then I'm in the tent. One thing, I forgot to do is I was going to maybe pile some snow up underneath. Too late now. Idea there would have been that way I didn't slide at all, but I think we'll be okay. So leave that there. Oh yeah, so let me show you guys this. What I want to show you, what I also have is a water bottle. These are some insulated slippers I'm gonna wear. I actually just wear these around the house, but I got these as a gift, so they'll keep my feet. If there was any concern about my feet being warm, well, there won't be now. So put these bad boys on. I'm really hoping won't have to deal with too much condensation tonight. We will see. But compared to the last time I was out, nothing. All right. I'm using the same Altos 0 degree Fahrenheit bag. That will do just fine. Okay, I'll bring it back in a minute here. Okay, hopefully you can see me well enough. I am going to put these bad boys on, keep my toes warm. And like I said, I do have some hand warmers, some adhesive ones, should I get too cold. You know, one thing about cold camping is do whatever you need to do to keep yourself warm. Well, let me take this off. You know, in past, even one of my other camps, my last one, when I had the when I hauled the little jackery out, the nice thing about that is I have a little cheap little heating pad I can plug into it, and then just snake it into the sleeping bag, and that really helps a ton. But we will see how well this setup does with kind of my thermarest, my inflatable, and then even just this wool being underneath, and then I'll fold it over on top. So we should be good to go. Also, more reason why I'll get kind of bundled up here so I can start retaining my heat. We'll see what condensation looks like once I am in here for a bit. But let me show you how this works. I know I showed it in another video, but no reason not to show it one more time. But so this will sit like this when I'm asleep, and my breath will get trapped up here, so this thing will maybe get a little frosty, a little wet. But then I can just move that out of the way, and I've got this, and it's going to keep a lot of condensation off from the inside of the tent itself. I've got the tent as vented as almost as vented as I can. Looks like I got one more vent I can pop up here, so I'll get that one popped up as well. And there we go. And now get some air flow as well. Okay, cool. So let me sit this guy back down. I will close the vestibule. There we go. I don't think I need that on now. I will close the vestibule there, but we'll see if I decide to even close this door. This door, obviously, I can close it, and it does have some mesh, so I could still have some flow. But I'm thinking I'm going to want all this, and if that's closed, we should be fine, but I'm going to want all that for condensation to kind of stick in that way area. So I'm going to get a few things situated here. I don't know, I'm so full from that meal. I really want to try that little chocolate pudding dessert thing, so we'll see if I get around to that. I can definitely warm it up just right here if I decide to do that, maybe a little bit later. It's still pretty early in the evening, like 8, but I want to get to bed a little bit earlier tonight. So yeah, like I said, enjoy the fire. If I do anything more fancy here, I'll bring it back. I decided against dealing with the hassle of making chocolate pudding and in here, even though I think it'd be not too bad. I just didn't want to have to really deal in case it got messy. But I do have a little bullet with me, so I'm going to have myself a little nightcap here, and then I'm just going to hit the hay. As you can see, I can sit right up in this tent, which is nice. This is good. It's going to be a comfortable night, so I'm really excited. So here is to a successful winter camp. Prost. All right. Cheers, everybody. Gonna hit the hay. If anything happens else-wise, I will obviously bring you back, but I can't imagine it'll be anything until morning. Morning, I don't know if I have a little firewood left, so maybe we'll make a fire. But for now, just gonna relax, enjoy a little whiskey, and listen to hopefully a little bit of wind and snow come in this evening. So, signing off. It's morning time, and yeah, so it snowed. It's still snowing a little bit. Weather says it's supposed to snow for maybe another hour or so, but I think I'm gonna get up here and get outside either way. Slept really well last night. I think the whole setup was perfect in terms of warmth and everything. So really no issues, no complaints. It was kind of quiet. It was just lightly snowing through the night. So yeah, nothing really other than that. I heard some coyotes making a little noise when I woke up here and there. But otherwise it was pretty good. As long as you get these mommy bags cinched up, around your neck, they really retain your heat real well. And again, I think the setup I have here with the 2 mats and then the wool blanket, that really has helped keep insulate from the ground and everything else. So I'm going to work on getting up here and getting outside. I did have a little bit of wood left, so I know it snowed, but maybe I'll just dust that snow off and just make a little morning fire after all, while I get breakfast going and stuff. Tent held up well too. It looks like a little snow on the tent itself, so let me So yeah, let's get up. I figured I'd actually just kind of enjoy the view here and start the morning off with a little coffee inside the tent. That sounds perfect to me. Probably can't see, I'll show you in a second, but it's really pretty outside. Oh yeah. Coffee. I have decided I'm going to make breakfast inside because it's just so comfy, and there's a little bit of wind coming here now and then, so rather than even deal with that, and it's still snowing, I'm just going to make breakfast inside quick. That way I can just kind of hang out, relax, and enjoy the sound of the snow here. What do we got? I've got Bandito Scramble, again by Alpine Air Foods. It says egg mix, potatoes, cheddar cheese, chili spices to liven up your morning. All right, we'll see if it indeed livens up my morning here. A little bit like dust, not gonna lie. See how it turns out here. Ooh, that thing is popped right up. How long is that supposed to sit for? 10 minutes. Try and keep my eye on the time here. Now I'm second guessing if I'll even mess the fire. We'll see. I always like to make a morning fire. It's always fun. But just in terms of getting packed up and getting out of here, we'll see. But what I basically have to do, because of the because this pack is frameless, what I'll end up doing is I'm going to take everything out of the pack, out of the base, and then I'm going to take the thermarest and I'll fold that back up, and I'll get that in there. I'll get that in there as the frame then. And then I'll roll my sleeping bag up, and when I stuff the sleeping bag at the very bottom, I have my slippers in there too. But when I get that in the bottom, it'll really hold that pack together, and then everything just goes in from there. So I will, I'll get that done, and then the tent is the very last thing, and we'll get that rolled up, and I toss that right on top, and then we should be good to go, pack up, and get out of here. So. Still snowing a little bit. The pieces that are solid food are good. The flavor's not too bad. They just need to include whole pieces of eggs, kind of like Mountain House does, and it would be a lot better. I don't know if it was just kind of like egg dust that was in here, but yeah. So anyway. Breakfast soup. Not too bad. God, it's beautiful out. This is just gorgeous. So you can kind of see, hopefully, like that. Put the sleeping bag down on the bottom, and then it'll create this to hold everything, or create kind of a frame to hold that up real nicely. So this off the bottom. And now we are pretty much framed up, and then I'll just get everything down in there from there. I'm definitely getting my workout in today. It's just enough snow where it's slowing me down a little bit, but it'll be fine because I'm going downhill today, down the bluff. But yeah, still though, super gorgeous out. All the snow. This part of the trail here is by far the coolest. All these huge pines. What a beautiful trip. This was an awesome place. I've never been here before. They had pretty good mapping of it, so I really enjoyed it. I definitely come back here. I imagine it could be, these are first come first serve spots, so I imagine it could get a little busier in some of the nicer weather, the warmer weather. But man, I'll come back here one day, hopefully again in the winter. Definitely worth the hike. It's kind of an intermediate hike in terms of steepness and everything. The bluff's up there quite a bit. I'm not sure how many feet up, but yeah, so everything went well. The Nemo Tenchi is an awesome tent. I really enjoyed that tent, so I definitely recommend it for winter. It is truly a mountaineering tent. I think that's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope everybody's enjoying their winter, and I'm glad to be back on the trail a little bit, so I will hopefully plan another camp soon enough. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys next camp.